Hello and welcome to another This is the Music Meets podcast. For this episode, we are joined by Roy from the Shed Project, a five-piece rock and roll band hailing from Bolton. The band really came to the fore during lockdown and continued to go from strength to strength. Roy, thanks very much for coming on today, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, can't complain. The sun is shining. And everything's all right.
It's pissing down here in Bolton.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
We've had that the last couple of days. To be fair, it's been it's a coin of phrase from Liam. It's been biblical rain. So
nice one. Yeah.
So, how then did the band start? What was the process? Because obviously the name of the band obviously came from the Shed Project. So
originally, it stems from a tribute band we had called the Attics, and that was formed in the attic of a pub.
Oh, right, okay.
About 8 years ago, so you know where it's going.
Yeah.
Just John, who's in the band now, and ex-members Carl and Vince, and my mate Warby, they was tinkering about in an attic of a pub. They'd always tinkering about with the guitars and that in the bedrooms, but they decided to get together. So I'd heard about it and went and seen them, and they needed a bass player. So I couldn't play bass. I'd never picked an instrument up in my life, so I thought I'd have a go at it. And then within a couple of years, we were playing gigs for our mates and that, just messing about, just Oasis covers, Stone Roses covers, stuff like that. And then a few years, it inspired me to start writing. Then, I'd always had it up here in my head, but never down on paper and that. So a few years ago, John, who's in the band, our rhythm guitarist, he worked nights at a factory in Bolton, and he used to take a little battered out Strat with him. So he played these little tunes while he were bored on nights, and he'd send them me on WhatsApp, and then I'd say, right, I can put lyrics to that. And he kept sending me, and then it just inspired me to just keep writing. And then eventually he just set his shed up as a little bit of a mini studio and stuff like that. So me and John got in. Next minute, me and John had 12 demos in the space of a few months. You know what I mean? That's how mad it. I've been saving all these things for 30 years in my head or whatever, 20 odd years in my head, and bang, it just all got together. So that basically was the start of the Shed Project a few years ago, just me and John. So we got these demos together, and then we'd heard about the Attics had disbanded then anyway. The singer moved abroad to Mauritius and stuff like that. So, and then we bumped into Tim, who's playing bass in the band now, and he heard about what we were doing and stuff like that, and he'd heard a few snippets and said, "Can I come and have a jam with you, and we'll have a little mess about." But it turns out Tim were a bit of a multi-instrumental genius, you know what I mean? So then, like I say, as we progressed, these little demos, acoustic demos, started becoming tunes, and it was January 2020, and we had Living ready. It weren't great production because it wasn't, but it was a tune and it had a groove. So we said, let's release it. If we're only expecting our mates to listen to it, you know what I mean? And so next minute, a kid called Kieran Kenny from All FM in Manchester, little community radio station, he got in touch with us on Facebook, and he said, "Will you send us your tune?" And I went, "Of course I will." Yeah, he said, "I'll play on radio." So next minute, Living's getting played on community radio. I took a video of on my Alexa, buzzing, wow, we've just been playing on the radio. And then we had One Shot ready then, the original version of One Shot, which is a lot slower. And the production on that was pretty crap. But we thought, bugger it, let's get it out. So we got that out in February of 2020, and then bang, it just stemmed from there, really. And then we got Lucky Number out in June of last year when we joined Twitter, and then it's just exploded since then. Well, Twitter's been a bit of a godsend, really. You know what I mean? It's made us get to a bigger audience and stuff like that. And we'd have been happy just playing to 10 of our mates. You know what I mean? And them listening to it. It's just grown and grown and grown. And we then, when we released Lucky Number, we wanted to get a band together then to start doing live stuff. So we got Vince and Carl, who was in the Attics, who have been our good mates, and they were rehearsing for us for a bit and things like that, and then they, like 9 weeks ago, they both left at the same time.
Yes, yeah,
As soon as we booked the Phoenix Club, so we've just got Shane and an old mate of mine,
yeah,
who was in bands back in 2000. I think he supported Ash once as well on tour. And then we got my mate's lad. He was asking us when we first got together, and he was only about 16, and he's only 18, Ollie. So we got him in, asked him, he come down and smashed it all in one rehearsal. It's a bit of a mini John Squire. So it's all just working out really well now. So it's all coming together. So yeah, we're buzzing.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you, and I think what you were just saying there about the like Twitter. Obviously, everyone knows there's a lot of bad stuff that goes on there.
Yeah.
But obviously, there are a lot of positives, and I think definitely that is the case. So obviously, your most recent single that you released was "A Day in the Dam." Which is a damn fine song. So for those that don't know or haven't worked it out yet, can you tell us what the song's about?
Well, I've been going to Dam for 20 plus years, and I go twice a year. So basically, it's about me getting off my head and mooching around Amsterdam off my trolley. You know what I mean? And the guy who I wrote it about, he passed away 3 weeks ago. And so we've dedicated the song to him, really. But just the week before he passed, I played it him in his kitchen, and he looked at me and he just went, "You're going to get us in trouble, you mate." You know what I mean? He could relate to everything I was singing about, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, it's just about an honest man's experiences and what he gets up to in Amsterdam, basically. You know what I mean? And a lot of radio stations have refused to play it and stuff because of the lyrical content, but that's just me being honest. You know what I mean? So I couldn't have wrote about going buying some lilies or something. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we've dedicated it to him. But it's like the psychedelic bit in the middle and stuff like that. We had 2 ideas for 2 songs, so we said, let's not join them together and make the first bit the experience of Amsterdam, and then the second bit the trip. So that's when it speeds up. So yeah, it's turned out really well. I'm really, really pleased with it.
Well, I think you should be, and as someone I've been a few times, not nowhere near as regularly as you, but it definitely brought back a few memories for me and stuff. Obviously you got the bikes in there, like the
middle
bell
bits
as well,
and
which
stuff.
is a nice little touch.
Well, the word mooching's not used enough in music.
Definitely
and
not.
That's a bit of an ode to Dermo from Northside, because I'm a massive fan of Dermo and I know him pretty decent as well. I know him pretty well, and that was a bit of an ode to him as well. So I told him that he was laughing like, so yeah. But, so yeah, each tune's just getting better and better. We set out to do that, you know what I mean? And production wise, we're still doing our own production between us and stuff like that. And Lucky Number, that was the benchmark. And then Do It was an experiment. We wanted to make a bit of a 60s lo-fi tune, and we did that. And then we released Bedtime. Got Wise Up involved. It's that we're written about a bad time in my life. And then it's just been a progression. And then Feel Me Love got played on Radio X and XS Manchester. And that's up. I think that's up there with any tune, but that's been released this year in my own personal.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't disagree at all, because I think, as you say, I think each song.
It's just a progression.
I don't want to say this about this sounding. This is going to sound bad, like each song's got better, but it's not to say that the ones before it was shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what we've always aimed out to do with it, because we're still learning production wise and stuff like that. I think we've finally cracked it, and because we've not really ever been in a studio or right like that. You know, I mean, everything's. Me and John will go in the shed. I'll have an idea. We'll get an acoustic tune written down, and then Tim will survey it, then get a bass line down, and then we'll do it like that. And then, like I say, Tim's set up in his living room. John's got his shed. I'm in a conservatory, and we've been using Danny as well from the Jade Assembly, the bass player in the Jade Assembly, the big Bolton band. So he's been a bit of a help to us as well. He's got a bedroom studio, so we've been nipping in there. So just bouncing ideas and stuff like that. But it's all coming together, and The tunes we've got written. I've got another album written. We just bang, bang, bang all the time.
On fire.
Just, yeah. Like I say, it's probably 25 years of living and frustration of watching bands and not being able to be in one. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's
definitely.
It's all coming out. Love it.
You obviously re-recorded One Shot back in April, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A song which for me has a real recognisable Manchester sound. And obviously as part of that re-release, you collaborated with MC Tunes, and as we say, it gave the song a complete overhaul. So obviously MC Tunes is from Manchester Bolton area. I'm not sure exactly where, being a southerner. So how did that collaboration come about? And was it always going to be that song, or was there anything else that you'd maybe considered?
Well, it's funny enough. I wagged school back in 1990 when the Strange Ways riots were happening.
Right. Yeah.
And I was in my school uniform, and we went to Affleck's Palace, and we seen MC Tunes coming out of Affleck's Palace. This is like 31 years ago, and we followed him to Hume, and he turned around, gave us a spliff, and had a chat with us, and that was 31 years ago. And then last year, it was ex-missus had heard One Shot. She'd heard it and said, "Who are you lads? You know what I mean? Where you from?" and all that. So she got a bit of info on us. And then I'm a fan of Nicky anyway. I always have been. So I said, would he be up for a collaboration? And she went, get in touch with him. So I just messaged him on Facebook. I said, look, Nicky, we want to remix this tune. Are you up for it? And as soon as he heard it, he said, yeah, I'm up for it. So got chatting, brought him down the studio, and he'd done it in 2 takes, his little middle bit. But we had a lot of trouble with it, trying to get it our way and how we wanted it and how he wanted it. So it did took about 5 months for us to get it right, you know what I mean? Because we wanted to do it ourselves, but he was buzzing when he heard it, and there's stuff in the future. He wants us to do like a Dust Junkies style EP with him. So
wow.
It'll be us making the music. We've got a bit of a funk tune for him, a bit of wiring, stuff like that. So he's going to be rapping over it, and then obviously I'll be in the background doing whatever. So but we're going to be doing an EP with him later on.
Oh wow!
Probably later on this year. We'll probably start it out early next year, because obviously we want to get our album done. But he's a good guy, Tunes. He's a really clever man as well, and the knowledge and what he's got and what he's been through in his life, you know what I mean? He's a real gentleman. So it's a buzz. It's an honor.
Well, I mean, that's obviously quite an interesting backstory as well there, with when you met him back in 1990 as well.
Mad, isn't it?
Did you mention that to him? Did he remember it at all?
Nah, did he? He was just laughing. He said he's been stoned since he was 13. But I've become his drug dealer now. I'm dropping weed off for him every month. So, but yeah, he's a sound top. Like I say, his bite's bigger than his back. And, you know what I mean? He comes across as a big angry man, but he's an absolute gentleman, and his knowledge is unbelievable. You know what I mean? And what I'd like to say is he's worked with everyone and been there, seen it, done it. You know what I mean? So and his album, The North of Its Heights, still stands up now. It's genius. So he's a good guy. He's a buzz.
And I think as well, one of the things that you said as well was like trying to get the recording of it right, so that you were happy with it, and obviously he was happy with it as well. I totally understand that. Yeah,
we just wanted to do him justice. You know what I mean? I'd always had an idea. I've always wanted to remix it, because when I listen to it now, the first version of it, it's slow as anything, but people like it like that, and I just wanted to speed it up, give it a bit of a Manchester, and like I say, just give a nod to Manchester as well, you know what I mean? And the Hacienda, that's what the song's about, really. And giving a nod to them days. So it turned out well in the end, and it's give us a little platform in the future with him as well. So I'm looking forward to working with him again and getting him proper in it, and getting a studio and just bounce ideas off each other and see what we come out with.
Well, it sounds like
but the original
really
One Shot
for you guys.
The original One Shot 2, we've just remixed and remastered that for the album.
Oh, okay, right,
and we've sped it. It's the original one, but we sped it up and with a bit more backing. And Jack Cullen, Middleweight Boxer, come out to it
Yeah.
2 week ago in Eddie Hearn's back garden. So
Yeah. Funny enough, I was actually just about to ask you that question actually. So obviously, as you say, Jack used it in his most recent fight, just not too far from me down in Brentwood. So how did that come about? And what were the feelings? Obviously, I've seen you shared it on your Instagram and etc. What was it like?
Well, Jack's a good kid, and I've followed his career, and he'll fight anyone, Jack. But he come out to it last year at the MEN just before lockdown.
Right. Okay.
He come out to it live on Sky Sports then just before the lockdown at the MEN. So he's already come out to it. But I asked him again. He said, "Yeah, of course I will." So we remixed it for him, remastered it, and then he come out to it. So yeah, it was an absolute buzz. But that's going to be his tune now. So
really? Oh, right.
Fights, wow. Yeah. So every time he fights now, he's coming out to that.
Oh,
but
brilliant!
He loves the tune. It motivates him. The lyrical content motivates him and stuff like that. So yeah, the bigger he gets, the bigger we get. You know what I mean?
Oh, brilliant! Oh, wow! That's I think obviously he's a really good boxer. And I think that's fantastic for you, like for you, and like a big compliment as well for you guys as well.
Yeah.
He wants to.
He's going to come down. We're in rehearsing tomorrow, so he's going to come down with a belt tomorrow night and have a picture with him and stuff like that. So yeah, I was out with him last week. He's a mad head, like he's good kid. But like I say, he's going to be in line for a world title shot in a few fights time if he keeps winning. So
yeah.
Imagine that in front of how many thousand people. You know what I mean?
Well, if it gets back in the MEN, like full house as well, like
if he's headlining, it'd be massive. So, but yeah, it was a buzz that, there's not many bands being played in Eddie Hearn's back garden anyway.
No, definitely no. That's another one. That's another one.
Just feathers in our caps, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. So, of all the songs that you've released to date, what's your personal favourite?
It's probably Bedtime, because I wrote that when I was in about a dark time in my life when my mum was dying of cancer, and I found out my brother was a heroin addict at the same time. So it's about taking them thoughts to bed with you, and you can't sleep, you toss and turn and sleep at night. It's all in the lyrics.
Yeah.
But there's two kids who I know from Bolton. They've got a mental health charity. It's called Wise Up, and I've seen those struggles and seen them, from the outside, and seen what they're about, and they've done really well, and they're helping people all over the country. So I played him the song, and he went, "Bloody hell, can we do something like? Do you want to team up?" And I said, "Yeah, if it makes someone aware, you know what I mean." And so we teamed up on it, and people actually donated and rang up Wise Up and for advice on the back of that tune. So that was a buzz in itself, you know what I mean? Job done. Even if one person had got in touch with them, I was buzzing, but quite a few did.
Wow. Well, bloody hell, that's amazing.
People have DM'd me, told me how much it means to them, that song and stuff like that. So for a song that means that much to me, to mean that much to other people, it's, you know what I mean? It's a buzz.
I guess it takes on a
different meaning.
Absolutely.
Once it's out of my hands, it's in other people's hands, and I've got my go-to songs, you know what I mean? And when I'm down, I'll put something on. And music's power, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's definitely it's massive. It's a massive thing. But yeah, it's got to be Bedtime, I think. But some of the ones we've got coming out on the album, and the next single, what My Life, that's about me just growing up with nothing basically, and just top tunes. It's just getting better and better. Everything's just getting better and better.
I'm excited to hear the debut album. So how's the recording of it going? And when do you think we can expect to hear it?
We've got 7 finished. We've got 7 tunes done. We've obviously remastered and remixed One Shot. We've remastered and remixed Lucky Number. That's more punchy now. We've remastered and remixed Bedtime. We put strings and stuff on that now. So that's just totally different song. Living, we've sped that up, and that's just a totally different song. Yeah. So the ones where we didn't know what we were doing, we've redone them now. So they're brilliant songs. And then obviously there's a few new tracks on it. There's 3 more 3 more tracks to do. We're having 11 on the album. There's one called Temptation, which Tim's just started the bass on now. One called Don't Wait for No One, which Tim's just sent the bass to me now.
Yeah.
And there's a 9-minute song called Friend, which is going to end the album.
Right.
So we're going to book into a proper studio for that and do it live. We're going to try and get that. Do you know when Oasis recorded Definitely Maybe, they did it live?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we want to try and capture that for the last tune, because it's like our version of Resurrection, really.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That sounds exciting.
But the opening track's called Modern Way, and that's 6.5 minutes long. So we've got a 6.5 minute long track opening it, then a 9-minute track to finish it. So
statement of intent.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be brilliant. So hopefully, if we can get it done, well, we're looking at mid October. If we can get it done, then it's just a matter of saying, right, how do we go about it? I think we're going to have to do a CD release first, just to get it out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So people have got a physical thing, but the aim is to get it on vinyl. That's the main aim. So it will be happening, but it just depends when. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I think there's a 20-week wait on vinyl now.
Is there really? Wow, I didn't.
Yeah, I think it's 6 weeks for just your test pressings, and then another 20-week for your vinyl. So, like I say, we're in no rush. You know what I mean? If it's next year, we'll just leave it till next year.
Yeah.
But it's definitely there, and it's not far off, and it's an absolute belter.
Well, you can definitely put me down for
the
CD and the vinyl. I guess I'm a little bit more old school. Don't get me wrong, I love being able, the opportunity to stream stuff or download it. But I like
physical.
Yeah,
certainly.
Getting the cover and having a look at that and the artwork.
I collect vinyl myself, and just having that in your hand, and to have something like that in my hand, what says my name on it, and I wrote that. You know what I mean? That's just going to blow my mind. So
yeah, I bet.
I'll probably buy about 250 and decorate the house with them, you know what I mean? But it's like I say, we're just normal lads. We're not musicians, never have been musicians, but we can write good tunes, you know what I mean? And it baffles me though how certain organisations are still ignoring us, you know what I mean? They're still ignoring us. Introducing terrible. Absolute dog shit.
I know a few weeks ago, obviously you had that post, you put that up on Twitter and you were asking for people's opinions, and I remember replying back to you and just saying, well, for me, good tune's a good tune.
I know, yeah. It's all about image and age and stuff like that. They say they've listened to your tune and they don't, you know what I mean? And how a tune like Feel My Love can be ignored, it just baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. Same with This Feeling as well. They're up everybody's ass, you know what I mean? And it does me nothing. It does me nothing. I put on the other week, I just said, question, why do you keep ignoring us? Because it is frustrating when you've got top tunes and just certain, they know about you, but they just fucking ignore you. And it pisses me. But like I say, I'm not bothered about it. It's their loss at the end of the day, because we're on our own path anyway, and I know where it's gonna go, because I'm that confident. The tunes are mint. The tunes are absolutely banging. So, but yeah, it is frustrating. And I've spoke to a few of them. I spoke to like Jay Tennant, speak to him
good
regularly,
lad.
And he's one of the most amazing songwriters I've ever listened to. You know what I mean?
He's brilliant.
His songwriting ability and his voice and his look and everything about him. But you look at his streams on Spotify and you think, is somebody who's missing the trick here? You know what I mean? It's madness. And like I say, the talent out there, and you look and you think, why are these people not getting snapped up and picked up? You know what I mean? Is it only us who know about music? And I don't know. It's mad.
It definitely,
it baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. You know what I mean? And because I've been around a long time, and I've been through Manchester, I've been through Oasis, I've been through Britpop. You know what I mean? I love dance music. I love rap music. I love Northern Soul. You know what I mean? I love Motown. I love the 60s. So I know my tunes. And I just think, why are these people missing the trick? You know what I mean? And you hear the crap, what's on the radio? You think,
Oh, don't.
you know what I mean? But it's like people like yourself and Eddie Hansen and Gary Prime and Shina Sam and Paula, and the community on Twitter is just amazing. You know what I mean? And I'd rather have a room of people like that than people who just look at you for that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree, and I think one of the things that you just said there as well was like these, you know, obviously you mentioned this feeding, BBC introducing and stuff.
Yeah,
if they don't like it, just tell you. Just say it's not for us or whatever, rather than just ignore. You know, that's one of the things I don't.
Quite a few, you know what I mean. I understand they get fucking thousands of things every week, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But just say, look, it's not for me.
Yeah,
fine, no problem. Not a problem whatsoever.
For the next person, there's plenty out there that do. So
you know what I mean. But like I say, we're doing things differently, and like we've got the Phoenix Club coming up next week.
Yeah.
We sold 300 tickets in 10 days. We could have doubled it. We're still getting asked now for tickets. So, you know what I mean? From a band who've never done a gig to sell 300 tickets in 10 days tells you something. And they're not just from Bolton, you know what I mean? We've sold tickets in Belfast, Scotland, London, Birmingham, down Kent, Oxford, you know what I mean? And it's madness. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show anybody can get and do it, you know what I mean? And that's what we're about, you know what I mean? We're not in it for money, we're not in it for fame. We're in it because we're passionate and we love it. And can't wait, just cannot wait to get on that stage next week.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that actually. So obviously everyone knows the Phoenix Club anyway through Phoenix Nights, which is fantastic series. So how are the rehearsals going for the gig, and what's the mood like? Have you whittled your song list down, your set list?
Yeah, we've got the set list. I think there's 15 in it. And then we're doing 2 covers at the end as well, just as a bit of an encore if we've got time. But it's we've been ready for weeks now. It's just like I say, Shane and Ollie have come in, and everything's just fitted like glue. It's like we're all made and written, you know what I mean? And after 3 rehearsals with them 2, it was like, wow, you know, where have you been? It was just a perfect fit, you know what I mean? And 2 weeks ago, we'd not been in for 2 weeks, went in, bang, smashed it, and just all looked at each other and thought, we're ready, you know what I mean? Bring it on. So we went in last night. We've got 1 more rehearsal tomorrow, and then we're going to do 1 next week. You know what I mean? But we could do a gig tomorrow, no problem. Put us on any stage and we'll smash it. I'm highly confident. But I can't wait. It's like Northern Revelation and the DDEs, and Northern Revelation, another band in that bracket. Why are a lot more people not on them? You know what I mean? Because they're amazing. And the DDEs as well.
Yeah, they're good. Like I really like the DDEs. Yeah, really.
Yeah, I met Dan in the singer in Magaluf about 18 years ago.
Oh right, wow.
And this is another story, you know what I mean? And Dan, me and Dan got on straight away. We've got a mutual friend over there who runs the indie bar in Alex's, and Dan used to work there. And then he started putting his own little indie nights on in Magaluf on a Sunday, Champagne Super Sundays they were called.
Brilliant.
So funny enough, he got me on stage one night, and me and him were singing. He was on guitar and I was singing, and we had the place buzzing.
Yeah.
And then I think that was about 12 years ago. And then 12 years later, we're doing a gig together. It's mad, isn't it?
Wow.
You know?
Bloody hell, blimey.
Just crazy mad stories. So I think it's written in the stars, you know what I mean? But yeah, we after this, I keep putting our own events on. Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think as you've just said there, 300 tickets sold out like pretty quickly, especially as well, considering that you haven't done this is going to be the Shed Project's first gig. And I think as well that it shows as well the like the community, like what we were saying before, that there are lots of people out there that are banging into the band, and I don't think you can have a bigger compliment really than it's the people. Do you know what I'm saying? They're the ones that are that's who are coming to see you. That's the ones that have got who listen to your music, and I think that's if I was in, if I was good enough to be in a band, I think that would mean more to me, like the people, rather than like some industry act thing or
That's what I
whatever.
mean. Like, what we've achieved in what is it, 18 months? You know what I mean? We've had one shot played at the MEN live on Sky Sports. We've had one shot played in Eddie Hearn's back garden live on the Zone. We've been on 2 CDs, Bits and Pieces CD, We're Lucky Number. And we've been in from the Hollis CD, which was American with Feel Me Love, you know what I mean? 2 CDs with, and I think we've had about 70,000 streams on Spotify alone, and we're averaging 10, 11,000 a tune now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and it's just magic, it's and that just power to the people, you know what I mean. So
definitely,
let these bigger organizations ignore us, because we're just going to smash them.
Yeah, well, I think the proof is in the pudding at the moment for me personally. So obviously, for those that don't know, and if they haven't guessed it yet already, your day job is obviously a painter and decorator.
I've got the julep stuff on here.
If they're listening and they want to, give some free advertising, there's a bit of free advertising there, give some, donate some money to Roy and the boys, then go for it. And obviously you've done some work in the house of one of Manchester's most famous sons. Can you tell us a bit more about that? How did that happen?
Well, I knew it's my son's mum. She used to look at me now soon, so I started decorating for a few of them hairdressers who worked at Sassoons and that. But Johnny Marr's missus used to work there years and years ago before she met Johnny, apparently, or when she met Johnny. And then my mate Bruce, he's good mates with John Squire and a few others and things like that. And just said, Johnny wants your number. We do some decorating for him? I think this were about 2000. So I said, yeah, no problems. So jibbed over, and that right. I think I worked for him for about 6 years before he moved to Portland for a bit. But it was mad, and I'd turn up and you go in the kitchen. I think one day there was Zach Starkey, Billy Duffy out of the Cult, Tim Burgess, and somebody, I can't remember who it was, just sat around the table. And Johnny's like, this is Zach. And I'm like, all right, lads.
I was listening to you in the car on the way over.
Just trying to be cool about it. But I kept in touch with Johnny, and he's a really nice dude, you know what I mean? And then eventually he moved away, and we lost out of touch. But funny enough, my mate did a video for him a couple of weeks ago. And my mate, who's involved with us a little bit behind the scenes, doing the organising for the Phoenix gig, and he said to Johnny, he couldn't believe that I was doing my band, so Johnny's checked us out, and Johnny's sent a message over.
Oh, nice.
Decent, and he knows about us and stuff like that, so it's good, yeah. And he said,
nice.
He said they're a decent guy as well. So,
yeah.
But yeah, he's a top dude, and his family, Ange and Sonny and Niall and things like that, and just top people, just normal people, absolutely normal people. No airs of graces, you know what I mean? Just normal general people. But his first solo album with the Healers, Boom Slang, Zach Stack was in. I actually watched that being recorded.
Oh,
in
really?
His studio. Yeah, he had a studio in his backyard called Clear Studios. And I actually was painting the windows outside, and I was watching him record that.
So you weren't painting this?
Well, not here. I'm trying to, but I was watching the man at work. You know what I mean? But, yeah. But I've had my little bumps and things with different people. I'm quite close to Indigo Finger and Aziz. And a lot of people in Ian Brown's little camp, you know what I mean? I've met him a few times. I've met John Squire, and they're all good people, you know what I mean? They're just normal people doing what they're doing. It's a job, isn't it? Everyone needs a job.
Yeah, definitely.
But like I say, once you get in, it's like MC Tunes now. He's passing our name, the Shed Project name, about to like all the Hacienda crew and stuff like that. So we're getting known, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's great, and I think that's really good actually. You've got that sort of, I wouldn't call it a network. That just sounds too business,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying. You know, a lot of the little connections and stuff, and
Yeah, I've
you
always
know,
had them
and
connections through
yeah,
watching bands and things like that all my life. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
through the job as well. You know,
yeah,
I know a lot of people through my job. Once you do a job for someone, they recommend you.
yeah,
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 but yeah, but we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
yeah,
Just keep
yeah,
enjoying it
definitely,
and
yeah,
doing what we're doing. But people are asking, even other bands are messaging us now and asking, can they support us? Have you got anything coming up? Can we support you?
yeah,
I'll not name any names, but there's quite a few of them, you know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah,
we're getting asked to do things, but we're in our 40s, you know, we're not kids who can go out and do it every week. So
yeah,
rather than be on that gig circuit and on that little train and
hmm,
let's do our own things, let's put our own events on. We've inquired about doing a warehouse party
right, okay,
we've asked Dermo at Northside, will he do a DJ set?
hmm,
Us go on stage, do a set, and then MC Tunes play it out with all your rave music. So that's in the pipeline. Just things like that, and looking at unusual places like an empty barn on a farm. Let's hire that out and have a
yeah,
party all day,
yeah,
get a few bands on.
why
And
not?
I fancy like an old battered arcade or something in Blackpool as well. You know, an empty
Oh,
arcade or something,
yeah,
but just do it
just
ourselves.
yeah.
So
Well, why
that's the
not?
way forward. Yeah. It's
Why
like with
not?
the Phoenix Club. I watched Arfold there a couple of years ago, and it blew me away. And that was the first place I thought, you know what, let's do our first gig there at the Phoenix Club, because it means a lot to people as well. You know, people don't think it exists. The Phoenix Club.
I must admit, I was a little. I I assumed that it had been called that for the purposes of the
No,
series, so
well,
I
it
genuinely didn't
has. Yeah,
realise. And
its
it
real
wasn't
name's
until
St Gregory's. Yeah, its real name's St Gregory's, but it is the Phoenix Club to everybody.
right.
They've obviously done it all up because of the money they made off back of that. But
Yeah, I bet.
I
Yeah.
was in there last week. My mate had my mate who died. His weight were in there last week. So
Oh, really?
and it was like a rave at 1:30 in the afternoon. You know, all music pumping. So I had a little sneak on stage and just saw it all full and thought, shit, what have I done? You know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, it is. People message it. Is it a real place? Oh yeah, we're doing a
Yeah,
gig there. You know what I mean?
yeah. You turn up in the
Oh
middle of a
right.
field somewhere.
Yeah, so
There'd be nothing there.
but everything's just tying in really well, you know what I mean, and what we're about and stuff like that. So it's like the Phoenix Club's about community, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
and that's what
yeah,
we're about as a band, and me as a writer. I write about communities. I write about my experiences in communities and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all
it
coming
should be a
together.
great gig. So, would there be anything that you change about the music industry at all?
There's a lot of change about the music industry. Um, just give the unsigned, you know, give music a chance. Don't be playing all this bum 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 crap. You know what I mean? It's a lot of the bands you hear on Radio X and stuff like that. It's either a Poundland Strokes, you know what I mean, or an Aldi OMD. You get me though, don't you? You know,
What a
and
description.
so, but it is. It's that free chord shite, and
Yeah,
there's no groove, there's no melody, but they rave about it. These kids rave about it, and there's a certain band, Manchester band, I won't name them, but it's OMD. You know, OMD were doing it 30 years ago
yeah,
and sounding like that, but they're getting. It's like this magical cloud of dust that they're fresh and they're not.
yeah,
And I just don't get it how it's just certain bands get and they push to the limit and things
mm,
like that.
mm,
And the real grafters, look at Sam Lambert, grafts his bollocks off.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And the proper grafters like that, and your J Tennants, your Moonlight Parades, grafters, a shop window, Crimson Bloom, the grafters, man. And it's just madness how they're not on up there on the these stages in the main
yeah. I
stages. You
agree.
know what I
Definitely,
mean?
100%.
It just baffles me. But the music industry has always been about money, and it always will be, won't it? It's a
Mm.
business. It's like
Yeah.
football, isn't it? It's a business, and
Yeah. It's great. It's crazy how that's gone now.
it just gets ruined by greedy people, and that's such is life. You know what I mean? That's everything in life. It gets ruined by greed.
Yeah.
Simon Cowell's got a lot to answer for, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He definitely has.
But
So, would there be, if you could open a gig for any band, either current or,
Stone Roses, isn't it?
yeah,
Stone Roses, but greatest band I've ever seen,
yeah,
greatest band I've ever heard, and nothing will ever beat them. Simple as. Nothing's ever been close to the Stone Roses in my eyes. Just a unique working, grafters. It took them a long time to get into it, and lineup changes and stuff like that. But they did it themselves as well. You know what I mean? Putting events on, putting warehouse parties on.
yeah,
Even in late '88, they were playing to 30 people down south and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then the music industry started getting on them. But they were playing to 2,000-3,000 people in Manchester at the International. So it's similar things hopefully happening to us. You know what I mean?
yeah,
In that vein. But yeah, the Stone Roses, nothing beats them for me. Nothing at all.
great choice, and one of my personal favourites. And I think there'd be a lot of people that would say that as well. To be fair, So, if you had a musical time machine, which musical event would you travel back in time to go and see? Bear in mind, you've obviously seen, from what you were saying, you've probably seen quite a lot, so it must be quite difficult to choose just one.
Don't know. It'd probably be the original Spike Island, because my mate, I was how old was I then? I think I was 13 then, and all my mates who I hung about with, they were 16, 17 at the time, and my mum had nothing then, you know what I mean? So I ran it. I remember them all going, and I said to my mum, "Can you lend us 20 quid? Do you want to take me? Can I go?" And she wouldn't give me any money, so I couldn't go, and I was devastated. So yeah, it'd probably be Spike Island.
Yeah,
it'd probably be that, because I didn't get to go. Not for the want of trying, like, you know what I mean? But
and
yeah,
no, sorry, go on.
I'm a massive 60s head, you know what I mean? I love the 60s as well, the bands in the 60s, Small Faces. So going back to any gig in that time frame would have been amazing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had Jimi Hendrix playing Bolton Cinema, you know what I mean, in the 60s and 70s, and the Flyers I've seen and the big bands and stuff like that. They were just playing little venues in towns like Bolton, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So that what a time that would have been, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To go out in somewhere like Bolton and see Jimi Hendrix playing, it's crazy. So yeah, I think another one would be the 60s. But to see another one would have been Joy Division as well, just to see Ian Curtis in the flesh.
Yeah.
And feed off his electricity, you know what I mean? Just one in a million frontman, absolute one in a million. So yeah, I think that would have been an experience.
So obviously, you just mentioned Spike Island there, and obviously there was a like a tribute gig, wasn't there? That I saw that you went.
I went.
And then you're walking across the field, and then One Shot gets played. I mean, bloody hell! I mean, what?
Well, that's another thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? One Shot being played at Spike Island, that's just another twist of fate, But MC Tunes were DJing. He said he were going to play it. So Eddie got in with my mate Bond, and I was at the queue ready getting my beer tokens, and the next minute, "You've only got," I thought, "Oh my fucking God." I heard it, and they videoed it obviously, and then when I went in, Tune seen us, and he jumped over and had a buzz with us and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
That was a really, really good day, I mean, it was just nice to be free again.
Definitely. Yeah, it's the one thing.
Just to be in a field and listening to bands, and some of them tribute bands are better than the real thing, you know what I mean? But,
no, I agree. I've been lucky to see a few tribute bands like that myself. Went to my first gig last Saturday night. See a band called Lock-In, and just as you say, just to be back with a load of people of a similar like process as you, just back. Yeah, exactly. It was a great gig, and yeah, hoping to see them again at some point in the future as well. So, what are your 3 favourite albums of all time?
Obviously, the Stone Roses #1, the debut album. Doggy Style, Snoop Dogg, and then The Chronic, Dr. Dre.
Right.
I'm a big rap head, massive rap head. That rap was my first love.
Yeah.
Before any music, you know. Well, obviously you grow up, you're listening to Motown, you're listening to Northern Soul, you're listening to your mum, listening to the radio on a Sunday, you know what I mean, the charts and all that. And then, but my first, like I say, I ain't got about lads older than me. And I think it was, it was Breakdance the Movie. What did it for me in 1984? You get your Lionel, you think your Turbo and Ozone, and then you start listening to the rap music and seeing Ice-T on Breakdance the Movie, and then you start thinking, wow, he's decent. And then I think it was about 86. I bought my first vinyl. And I've still got it today. It's called Wrap It Up. It's a rap compilation on it with all the old electro stuff. And you start getting into the electros then and things like that. But I think it was late 88, my mate. I'd heard of the Stone Roses, I'd heard of Mondays, and you know what I mean. And my mate said, "Here, listen to this." And he played me Elephant Stone in his bedroom in late 88 on 12-inch. And I just looked at him and thought, wow, that's me now, you know what I mean? Guitar music. So just turned me right onto guitar music then.
Yeah.
Done me a tape, done me a Mondays tape, done me a Roses tape. And that was me then, bang.
Yeah.
But I still listen to rap music now. I love it. So yeah, it's got to be Dre and Snoop, I think.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
3 really varied choices, but 3 really, really good choices.
Yeah.
So Roy, that is the end of the podcast.
No problem.
I thank you for coming on and chatting to me. Right. It's been an absolute pleasure to finally get to meet you, other than just Twitter and DM conversations and stuff.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
I can't wait to see what's in store for you guys, the Shed Project next, and I can't wait for the album. As I say, you can put me down for a vinyl and a CD copy, definitely. And best of luck next week at the Phoenix Club. I'm sure that everyone who's going is going to have a top night, and I'm sure that you guys are as well. If you don't already, give the Shed Project a follow on their Twitter and Instagram channels. There's some great content on there with the tunes and little drop hits as well of that album, as we say. Thanks everyone for tuning in today's episode. I'd be forever grateful if you could like, retweet and subscribe and comment on the podcast, but more importantly, give the Shed Project a listen and follow them on their Spotify account as well, because you won't be disappointed. Roy, my friend, I will see you somewhere down the road.
Cheers, Matt. Can I just say thank you very much as well for your support, and it means an awful lot, you know what I mean? And we'll keep supporting you as well. And it's amazing what people like you do for bands like us. So big up yourself, you know what I mean? Nice one.
Cheers, Roy. Massive appreciate that. And I'll speak to you somewhere down the road.
All right, brother. Thank you.
See ya.
See you later, mate. Bye-bye.